Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to talk about construction. We are going to look at construction site photos. We are also going to talk about photo montages and take a bit of a look at everything that doesn't add up when you honestly look at history and official documents. Let's go. When we talk about the idea that all these incredible old world style buildings could have been found or discovered and restored rather than built, the answer we always get is yes, but look, we have construction photos. So yes, indeed, we do have construction photos. But first of all, we don't have many of them, which is still quite strange for a period when photography was booming. These construction sites must have been incredible, enormous. We're told that Capitol buildings were built in 1 year. We'll look at that in future videos. Subscribe so you don't miss it. It must have been insane to witness, a masterful level of organization. So this is a very interesting subject for photographic reporting. Imagine doing a report that shows all the stages of construction. Men at work, machinery or techniques. It's fascinating. Artistically, historically, from a construction or architectural point of view, and from the point of view of national effort. It should even make the front page of newspapers. It's crazy not to have more photos. Really crazy. Seriously. So either no photos were taken or they were lost. Maybe like that technology to go to the moon. Or they were sorted, and some of them, or even most of them, erased, thrown away, or locked away in private collections belonging to scholars or members of very selective clubs that we are not part of. In any case, when I search for these images and when I look at them, I have a lot of questions, really a lot. So one photo that I find crazy is this one. Supposedly a photo of the construction of the Statue of Liberty in Paris. But look, when we zoom in here, look at the torch. It looks super simplified. You don't see the ornaments. It really looks like a drawing. Look compared to these photos, an older photo and a more recent photo. You can clearly see that some of them are photos and the other is not. Look here, these scaffolds are drawn, it's not a photo. Look at the bottom, it really looks like a photo, but up here it looks like a drawing. Now look at this photo. Here we can clearly see that we are dealing with a photo, not a drawing. But don't you find these scaffolds strange? There are no platforms for workers to walk on, there are no visible ladders on the structure. And here we have a clearer photo, but even stranger, really, the scaffolding looks far too simple. And in this one, we see the internal structure of the statue. But how did they assemble the arm section without scaffolding? And when we compare it to the photo next to it, there is scaffolding, but the internal structure of the arm is gone. That's not very logical in a construction sequence. And then if we bring in this photo as well, the scaffolding problem becomes obvious. Look at the complexity of the scaffolding for renovations when compared to the construction scaffolding. It's ridiculous. And by the way, look how in these construction photos we always see complete elements. We see the hand with the torch, the head and part of the body. We never see these parts being built. It looks much more like they were assembled and disassembled rather than constructed. And then this photo that is supposedly the construction site of the pedestal. We see small cranes, but it's still very minimal. And what was powering them? An engine? We don't know. And there is no scaffolding at all. And then when we compare this to much more recent renovation photos, we can clearly see that there is a big problem. It looks like we are dealing with scale models in these old photos. The reality, we discover it with certainty by looking at these photos of Stalin. Look at this photo. There are 4 of them. Then it's cropped so there are only 3 left. Then, since this guy probably had too nice a moustache, hop, he's erased. Until finally, Stalin wants to be truly alone, and there you go. The last one is erased, and colour is added. And this one, where with a brushstroke this guy is suddenly no longer part of the group, and is erased from history. And here the crowd isn't impressive enough, so they take one from another photo and add it to the first. And then this one, in which almost everyone has become an enemy and is erased from history. I left captions under the photos if you want to know a bit more about the details, but the important point for this video is that they didn't need Photoshop. Photo manipulation is nothing new. Or this one as well, where we see that Lenin didn't like sharing the stage. Or here, where they added signs. And you shouldn't think they didn't pay attention to detail. In this photo, this soldier had 2 watches, which gave a bad image of looters to the Red Army, so one of the 2 watches was erased. Aren't our heroes beautiful? Seriously. So I also found this photo and this strange character in the Leipzig monument, which I should also make a video about. Think about supporting the channel so I can continue. We can very clearly see that it has been tampered with, scraped, erased, redone. We can see brushstrokes here and here, what looks like paint cracking. Before the existence of Photoshop, photo retouching already existed. Negatives were manipulated, you could paint on them, you could cut them and replace parts. Old world copy and paste. And so to make this kind of montage, it would have been enough to take a photo of the location and a photo of the scale model, respecting matching viewing angles and lighting, and assemble the 2. Also look at these branches and leaves up here. It clearly looks like paint, like in these paintings. And examples like this can be found everywhere. Look at this construction photo here, which is very probably a photo montage of 2 different scenes. It looks like all these constructions are done in entire levels, with clean cuts. That's suspicious. And then these photos of white skies. Many researchers talk about these vanilla skies. All skies always appear white, without clouds. And when you look more closely, you can clearly see traces of photo montages. What are they trying to hide in the sky? Maybe they didn't need cranes because they had flying machines. Today, many of these renovation works are done by helicopters. Before, maybe they did it with airships or even something else. So there you go, friends. It's not because today we have AI or Photoshop that old photos didn't have manipulations. Stay vigilant about everything that is shown to you. Don't swallow just anything because it's an old or official document. Thank you for listening. Think about liking and subscribing to help the channel, and as usual, walk in peace, brother.